good job getting that done and stuff. To follow up on the courts, on far as low custody, is constructing a community custody housing. And it's been one that I've always said, it's not a feasible or reasonable expense. Well, I did a little bit more research, and I spoke with the Department of Corrections, and they do, guys. They're saying no to low custody housing. The need for housing, what we're needing right now across our nation, in our state, and in our county, is secure housing. Right today, there are 450 empty community custody beds across the state. I had a conference call last Friday, and the state, we was talking about the overcrowding, and 27 counties extremely overcrowded. And this is jail population. It's not in community custody. That's not what's needed. It's not there. It's not a reasonable. Even though the construction cost is cheaper than it is building a secure bed, it's not what's needed in today's thing. So you look at right now, and I've got 5 empty community custody beds today, but there's 450 of them empty across the state. They can't find enough for them. So I think that pretty much answers that issue portion of it. It's not a feasible portion for us. Now I have been in communication with Kentucky Jailers Association, and from what I've gathered from them as well as from state, the contract with CCA, Correctional Corporation of America, will be re-signed for all 3 private prisons. That's including Mack, Lee County, and Otter Creek, and they've got some tweaks and stuff with that. But from the discussions that I've been involved in, that's on short order. When I say that, I don't know if that means it'll be before January or be before Thanksgiving. I'm not sure. No one has ever. They haven't come forth with an actual start date. I know that from just trucks coming by, that supplies are being delivered. So I would think that with given the state's complications with jail overcrowding and the prisons being overcrowding, and 2, the fact is that KSR is closing a 900-bed dorm. So, and that's a state facility. So the need is there, and it's still. It's just going to offset our population across the state like 2,300. But it'll take some relief off of that factor. But that is, if you call someone, you probably won't find out. No one give you a yes or no. But the communication to me is, it has been a done deal. They're working on the contracts and agreements now. When we look at our population and look what's going on with our jail, we look at our contracts and stuff. I've made communication with the state. I actually had a visitor from the state. We went through state regulations. We went through building codes. We went through just legal back and forth, made some contacts. And the fact of the matter is that any type of additions to our jail, even when I was thinking about adding the 14 beds and renovating the property room, the way the standards are set, if we do anything to the jail, whether renovation or expansion of beds, we would have to come up to today's codes on all of the standards, building and construction standards. Well, the building and construction standards for a jail our size is 20 isolation cells. So that is totally, again, it's another subject that we can definitely put to rest, because it's not going to be an option for us. Not with our goals and objectives. So we're just going to have to. The truth of the matter is, we have to face what practically is happening across our nation, and that is know when to say enough's enough. Meaning that is that we have to look at our contracts, Washington County and U.S. Marshal federal contracts. We have to say, guess what? There's going to be a limit on what we can accept, and if we can't accept your prisoner, we're going to ask you to move it if we have an increase in our county prisoners, because our obligation is for our county prisoners in the core portion of our jail. We have used in the last week isolation needs that went up. We had 23 needing separation isolation, 5 isolation cells. We've had to use, I mean, you get creative. You use areas of the jail and different parts of the jail to, segregate some of these type inmates. So during that process, I have had 12 substance abuse beds, and this is hard. I mean, they're $40 a day beds, but I've had to let them go empty so that I can house my general GP population and manage through those weeks, through the last few weeks. Our count issue, as you recall, we've been discussing this as a concern and issue for 6 months. 6 months. I mean, we've been up front that the count was a concern. But again, it's jail. Today, last 6 months, it's been up. We had a dynamic week. There was 27 prisoners released from our facility this week. 21 of them were Marion County this week.
That's good.
Well, yeah, it's good. But I mean, I hope that it's caused thing. But that is, you don't, Jimmy. Jimmy. But anyway, but I mean that's just like saying, guess what? We got a downturn in the stock market. I mean, it's right now. It brought us back in line. So today, what I've had my staff doing is moving back and reclassifying and trying to pull back out of that SAP area, those $40 a day beds, so that I can make my request on Tuesday and get those beds filled back up on SAP, which I can. And that's what that is. And I know that basically about the time I get those filled and we're back running, then we're going to be back faced with separation and stuff. So as we move forward, we have to look at it and manage it. I mean, I'm the jailer. I'm the administrator. I'm going to manage it on a weekly basis, a daily, as we need. And on any of our contracts, it's probably not wise for us to say, guess what? U.S. Marshals said we're going to eliminate our contract, or go look at Washington County and said we're going to eliminate our contract. That's not good business, and I think we need to keep those contracts viable and running. But we need to exercise, and I will administratively exercise the know when to say when, and know when to say, guess what? I need you to move some of your prisoners because of our own personal needs. And then when our needs lighten, we can take them back if they've got them or whatever. But that's practically where we're at. I mean, we're within 18 months of having a paid-for, debt-free facility. And I intend fully for all of us to be able to celebrate that and move forward. But it's not going to change that we have to look at the needs of the jail. So currently, the female population, given that I said 21 were released. If you go to your one report right there, let me explain just a little bit about that. And that is, I'm still at 101% in the core jail detainee. That's everyone in orange, the detainee, not the program bed. I'm 101%. In the female cell, I'm 140% in the female cell. I've got 12 empty SAP beds. I got 5 empty community custody. I've got 13 still today needing separation. I still have, so it doesn't alleviate when you got people doing detox protocols and the other issues of separation. Think about that. 27 released, and I've still got, I've got issues. And it's not in the program part of the jail. It's in the center part. So with that, what we intend to do is make a solid decision and try to stick with it. And we've got to move. We need to move the females into a 2 housing unit so that we can use separation protocols and stuff. It's just tough for any inmate population to put when you start putting them in the floor and stacking them in their living areas. So it's probably moved to the 126, 128 cells right near booking and separate. Give us about 16 female cells. We got 14 today, but it would give us 16 beds and it'd give us some separation. When I do that, I will have to look at, not today, because today my Marion County count is the first time in 6 months has hit in the 40s.
Great.
First time in 6 months.
Great.
I'm gonna have Stevie write more stories. But it's the first time in 6 months that it's been into that area. So we're gonna cherish the moment, ride it out, but I'm gonna have to do separation, and what I'll do is manage the count, not terminating any full contract, but manage it by administratively looking at what our needs are on a daily, weekly basis, and we'll move forward with that. And we're gonna continue to serve our county and protect, keep our public safe, and keep the people that need to be locked up, locked up. Now, with that, I wanna, we've got still a lot of positive. Everybody's on to the mode of studying jails. I've received 3 requests right now to be involved in these studies. Yesterday, I was contacted by the Center of Economic Progress out of Berea to they're studying jails. The governor has a jail reform committee that is studying jails, and I've been asked to help. Been asked for them to come through, and the legislative bodies put together a legislative review committee, and they will be at our jail next week to look at it. And of course, they're telling us that they're doing this because they really think Marion County's got it going on. But it is honorable to know that they are looking at us across the state as we're the county that's doing it right. So, but that's good stuff. Another positive note, just to tell you, all of your ICON investment, we're still not complete on installation. We're still getting the installation done. But just to give you some numbers, just to think about it, this stuff is going, that investment's going to pay off. May was like $7,775. June was $7,446. And July was $6,651. I mean, that's backing down. That's already $12,000, estimating $12,000 a year savings, and we don't even have the full, all of the equipment installed. So, we've already made some good investments is what I'm trying to point out with that point of it. Now, real quick, and I'll cut this thing off here. I did put a diagram in front of you so that you understand the jail layout and the need of where we're going to keep the program beds. I did get word from Frankfurt. Again, I'm an ask. They're going to. I'll meet with them on Tuesday at 10 a.m. to negotiate our contract for 80 program beds on the state side. This will hover us in the 34 a day per diem for those 80 inmates on that community custody side. No one else in the state's getting that kind of money for that kind of bed, and of course, it's costing us. We have to pay the piper. We're putting the programs and stuff in, but I think it's one of those that I appreciate you all sticking with me on it. But we've stuck with this project 5 years. As the governor said, we got skin in the game. They've got skin in the game. But at this point here, the heroin bill money is going to pick up the tab on that. So that'll be one that will be off and running. We will be a 208-bed program jail. And again, we was already the largest in the state, but we're definitely the largest now. If you look in the top right-hand corner of that, just to give you an idea, if I alleviated 10 federal inmates in 5 Washington County, it would cost us about $203,000. Not keeping those SAP beds full and not having to use them, that's $176,000 back up. The REACH program, which is that we're putting in place, that I'll be negotiating the contract next week, will be a $233,000 plus to our budget. So it's going to take off the sting, guys. I mean, I promise you we're in a lot better shape than a lot of county jails and counties across the state when they look at their operation. We're we're still progressing and still changing and still improving every day, and we're not finding ourselves in that down spiral where it, as other judges explained to Judge Darty about the transfer-ins in some of these jails. But I hope you all got the information I sent to you, that the compare. If you look at that compare from other jails around us, they're all Kentucky jails. We're singing in pretty good territory. I mean, it's good. I guess the best way to explain the thing is a whole lot like what they talk about country picnics. You never have a bad one, but you always have a few years better than others. And the jail has never had a bad year, but we've always had a few better than others. So we'll move forward from there. But so there's any questions?
You've done a great job. I don't know if this is anything that would work. I know you have a problem sometime with weekenders placing them. Is there any kind of an alternative sentencing, like ankle bracelets? For instance, if a judge give you 30 days, why couldn't it be for 30 straight days, home to work?
Metropolitan jails, Louisville and Lexington, they'll do more. I mean, they'll do it. Northern Kentucky will do some more of it. It depends on your judges. I mean, I've spoke with our district judges. It's interpretation of the law. And interpretation of law of incarceration on DUI cases and stuff says if you do 24-hour increments. Some of the metropolitan areas feel that if they can home incarcerate somebody, that is incarceration and it's 24-hour increments. They got new technology with alcohol monitoring and stuff. But that's exactly what Jackie has put out across the state. But when the Kentucky judge had the conference call, they're asking everybody, said, please, if there's a way, if there's a way that someone is suitable for alternative sentencing, encourage it. If they need treatment, encourage it. And that's a whole lot, Judge. I did Ed, what's the public advocacy? Ed Monahan? Yeah, Monahan. He's going to set a meeting up with you and I and Judge Settles, come down and discuss some of the county's dilemmas, what we can do, what we're looking at. And we are on this position that's paid by the Ireland bill to focus on jail populations and look for alternative sentencing and look for treatment. We've got a child support doing 359 days for $1,000 right now, and they're a drug addict. I mean, the person is he's got a drug addiction issue. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. You got the violations. You got to have a certain balance of tolerance or no tolerance to make it equal for the victims and the people that are suffering from it, but at the same time it's just a tough situation.
They would have to be
alternative sentences pushed.
They would have to be low level because they're working all week.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, they are. The thing is, the states put so much money in street programs, and do they work? I don't know. Sometimes I think some of these drug addicts and different drugs that they're on, it takes residential to help them come into compliance and help them to come through it. But then again, I don't know. We're not going to know unless we try some of them, and then the ones that don't make it, then enhance it. But you are correct. Alternative sentences is one that everybody's trying to look at right now.
Population's full, you're maxed out, and then there's a court date, say Monday or whenever, and 10 people, county people, get sentenced, go to jail that day. You've got to find somewhere to put them, don't you?
Yeah. Well, I mean, and actually, to tell you, Larry, I used to bring it up, but court day is my biggest intake day.
Yeah,
that's my biggest intake day is on court day.
Yeah, because
my Saturday nights and Friday nights are nothing like Monday mornings.
But you're already full or maxed out, and then all of a sudden you've got 10 more, you've got to make some kind of a,
Yeah, I mean, that's why I'm saying, right now, if you looked at the study I sent you, and the Ohio Jail Association's looking at that, they're asking jails to run, they said to run safely, run at 90% in your secure part. Run at 90% so that you have room to do it. So given in some of the statistics, I'm at 101% in the jail, 140 on females. And once I move my females around, I will not. I'll be under if I get the females moved over. But that's going to cost me. When I move the females over to there, I've got to say, guess what? Feds, I need you to pick up 10. Washington County, I need you to move. Because I've got 16, I got 18 men back there right now. I'm going to have to displace as soon as I make it move.
Shame you can't pay that $1,000 child support bill, ain't it?
Well, 359 days, that's the first one on us.
Pretty tough, there.
Oh, my goodness. I don't think you're going to catch me caught up either.
Let me ask you real quick, Barry. You said it's 400 some community custody beds. What's the issue with they don't want to fill those beds?
There's no way.
With the trend going forward for leasing and what with these non-violent offenders, that's the big push now. You know, they've got a drug problem versus being a violent crime or whatever. Why they can't do something with that at least?
That was actually one of the pro board members asked about that, about why we wouldn't take a lot of those beds and turn them into treatment across the state of Kentucky. And you're exactly right, because why would you send them to, I know we're sending them to Taylor County to that recovery center, but a lot of these jail beds could be, just like those, could be recovery center beds, and they could be, they're already constructed, they're already there, they could be up and running. But actually, hopefully after my trip, because I think we're going to be setting the stage and a history record on, I don't know of any other programs in work community. We're the first to have that in a community type of inmate work setting. So that's maybe it'll help soften the trend to do that. But you're exactly right. As many as and the addictions, residential is about the only way some of these folks are going to come through this. It's horrible. It's an epidemic. The addiction has become an epidemic, and it's in our communities. I don't know if anybody's the stories about. Judge, you told me 3 weeks ago, Boyle County had 7 overdoses one day.
Mm-hmm.
Taylor County had 9 or 12 this past week with 1 death. 2 deaths. 2 deaths.
Where was it, 24 died somewhere?
Huntington.
But these are
Over a
communities.
bed
These are
there.
neighbors. This is what's in our neighborhoods.
Robbie knows we have here recently,
But I can remember we would do 6 overdoses a year. We'll do that easily a month now. We'll have as many as 5 a week, 6 a week.
Are you catch them all, or does some
No.
of them go straight to the ER?
That's what I'm catching.
That's what you're catching. So I wouldn't even know what the hospital's doing on overdoses. You just think our neighboring county, Taylor County, 12 overdoses, 1 day, 2 deaths. That's kind of close to home.
Yeah.
Really
Close to home.
sad.
No action needed today, Judge, other than again, an explanation of where we're at with what's in front of us. I think we can pretty much eliminate the two construction thoughts, try to manage our count administratively on a weekly, monthly basis, and do the best we can. We're going to see this thing paid off, and I did speak with Kevin with this next amendment. Will probably be our 4th budget this year, third or 4th budget, but we'll do a budget amendment to show the new revenue, and then that will alleviate some of the sting off of some of the needs and the upgrades, the technology upgrades. And I guess I got to open some bids.
You got the bids for the scanner.
I know you got a hard job. I remember when you hired Wasn't that cool? I did too. When I started, I did too.
Yeah, there too. All right, you got an opener or? You got a knife. You don't work in jail, prison.
It's a little bit of a knife, it ain't much.
All right. Does it cut baling twine?
Nope, not very good.
Don't
Won't
get
cut
an
paper.
envelope either.
It won't cut paper, Bishop.
Yeah, I think you need to get to a stone on that.
If you cut baler twine on it, bills and don't it?
All right, we got a bid, Find It All Security Systems. A lot. Trying to look through here, make sure I don't miss anything.
Do you need to review them anyway?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to review them, but I wanna go ahead and announce the bid. This is the $100,000.
Is this the scanner, the body scanner
This
thing?
is a body scan. This is
What's the company, Find It All? Is that what it is?
Yeah, unit. They've got some other specs and different things, but they're at $100,000 on their scanner. And,
I thought there's gonna be more than that.
okay, they got some leases in there, but so anyway, that's that bid. I'll review these and
Okay.
you know, the only thing on these scanners, guys, is we still gotta look at the legal issues and make sure it's an investment we wanna totally get into, with it. I mean, it's exciting to think about it, but it's also, we gotta look at the legal part of what we're doing with it, and what we're gonna do with searches once we find it, if a person does not consent to remove it or have it removed. I mean, it makes
So
them.
if you find it on the scanner, they still have to consent.
Well, I mean, you gotta go have some way to go in there and Canon, they've got, a couple of different options at $160,000 and $185,000. And they got some specs and stuff attached to it, so. I think Canon was the one that does, a lot of the, Bureau of Prisons. They got a lot of federal contracts. Of course, looking at their price, it looks like they do.
I got a question to it. If the sheriff's department brought somebody in or wherever from, if you caught this, something wrong there at that scanner, then that would be on that department to do it, wouldn't it? It wouldn't be on the jail, would it?
Well,
Because they're not booked in.
Where they're hiding it, though, the sheriff's department's not gonna find it.
well, like,
I'm
I
talking
mean,
about the scanner. If it shows on that scanner.
Oh, you mean to charge them?
What,
no, he
They-
said- he said
they won't be
about
booked
accepting
in.
inmate.
are they booked in before you scan them, or?
No, they'll be scanned before
No,
they're booked in.
Actually,
They better be.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I
it
don't know
better
if we can or not. A Donde,
Yeah, we gotta scan them before. it's booked in.
ADANI, I'm sure I'm not pronouncing that correctly. They need to have their stuff in bold. Yeah, it looks like all the text. Judge, unless I'm looking plumb past and did I miss it there? Are they just trying to sell us the equipment, want us to ask for the bid?
Not on this one for sure.
I mean, it's not, they sent us the information. Hold on a minute, that's still that's still the. Still the information. Dimensions, it's pretty big. All right,
There it is.
here we go. It's on the very, 184,000.
So you got the find it alls so far are the cheapest, but you're gonna go check, review them and let us
Yeah.
know.
The one that's the cheapest, I do know that company, I did recall talking to them, they are not in state.
Okay.
It's a foreign company. The other two are stateside, the one there is not. I do recall speaking with them, so they're not a stateside. But anyway, I'll look at the specs, look at the legal issues, the policy on it, and we'll take it from there.
Thank you, Barry.
Thanks, Barry.
Thank you, Barry. Good luck.